welcome to Enchant Your Life, where we talk about all things spiritual and magical so you can use your power and manifest the life of your dreams. If you hear some crunching in the background, that's my sweet little doggy Milo, so please just ignore that. I'm Shakilia, and today we're going to be talking about forgiveness, the power of forgiving others, the power of forgiving yourself. And I want to start by saying this gently. Forgiveness is not always easy, and it's often misunderstood. Are you having a hard time forgiving someone? Maybe they did you dirty. Maybe they betrayed you. Maybe they disappointed you in a way that you see them different forever. When we don't forgive, we think we're holding the other person accountable. But what we're really doing is we're drinking the poison and hoping that they feel it. Unforgiveness doesn't just live in our thoughts. It sits on our hearts and it weighs down on our souls. And over time, that stuck emotional energy can show up in our bodies as sickness. When you forgive, you don't suddenly say what happened is okay. You don't forget and you don't bypass the pain. Forgiveness is about release. It's choosing to stop carrying something that's hurting you. God sees us very different than the way we see ourselves. Come here, Milo. Hang on one second. Milo wants me to pick him up. So as I was saying, God sees us very differently than the way we see ourselves. He knows our hearts. He thinks that pretty much there's nothing to forgive. He knows why we do everything that we do. And from that perspective, he has complete understanding and sees nothing to forgive. As humans, forgiveness sometimes needs to have a brand new perspective to happen. Now, that doesn't mean blaming yourself, but it does mean being honest with yourself. What role did I play? Was I honoring my intuition? Was I operating from the frequency I truly wanted to be in? Sometimes I can look back and clearly see how I attracted a situation that I didn't want to be in. Other times, I honestly don't know why something happened. Maybe there are soul level lessons at play. I don't always have all the answers, of course. But what I do know is this. We have the power to learn, to grow, and to choose differently moving forward. Jesus said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." So many people are just moving through life, doing the best that they can with the awareness level that they have. You don't need an apology to forgive. You don't need closure to forgive. You forgive for your own well-being, not for them. Now, of course, there have been people in my life that I had to forgive. You know, there was a time where I blamed my parents and even my ancestors for some of the burdens that I felt I had to carry. Through reflection and prayer, I realized something really important, that they were doing the best that they knew how to do with the information and the tools that they had available to them. Mental health wasn't openly talked about. Resources weren't always easily available to them as they are for me right now. I have access to therapies and teachers and coaches that can help me, and even the internet. You know, the internet and YouTube, there are so many people and so much information that we now have access to assist us on our life journeys. I have access to communities they never had. Forgiving them allowed me to appreciate them and also choose a different path. It helps me recognize and break generational patterns that I was able to make new decisions about. I also had some experiences that I once thought were unforgivable. And when I prayed about them and asked God to help me forgive, God unexpectedly showed me those situations in a brand new light. I was able to gain a new perspective and understanding about the situation, and I learned to not take those things personally. Even situations from childhood. You know, as an adult now, I can actually look back and see those adults involved as very young. They were young and they were lost, and they were just operating from the level of understanding and the frequency that they were on. You know, that perspective, it didn't erase what happened, but it did give me peace. And this is important because forgiveness does not mean access. You can forgive someone and, for a situation or whatever happened, but you don't have to let them back in your life. You have the power to choose, and especially if they continue to do harm to you, make sure you keep them out of your life. But forgive the situation, forgive the person, and let it all go for your own benefit. You always have the power to choose who gets to have access to your energy, because your energy is priceless. Now, let's talk about forgiving yourself. This is a big one. Most of us are hardest on ourselves. We replay our mistakes or whatever happens, and we beat up on ourselves. We shame ourselves for what we feel we should have known, like we should have known better. Maybe you stayed too long, maybe you ignored your intuition, got caught up in something that wasn't aligned. Maybe you hurt somebody. Maybe you betrayed yourself. Have compassion. Have compassion for yourself. You were learning, you were growing, you were doing the best that you knew how to do from the awareness level that you had at the time. Shame doesn't heal. Love heals. Love yourself. You deserve it. Dust yourself off and try again, like Aaliyah said in that song. Dust yourself off and try again. You can dust it off and try again, again. Is that how it went? Now, if it feels right, I want you to close your eyes and imagine you connected to the situation or the person by a glowing cord. Now imagine getting the sharpest pair of scissors that you could find, that you could imagine, and cut this cord. See the person fade into the distance. See the heaviness of the situation just dissolve into the nothingness from whence it came. You are now free, and so are they. And let God handle the rest. Trust me, I know God always handles the situation the best way that it should be handled. And you don't have to get involved at all in revenge or anything like that, because God got it. Now I have some affirmations that I want you to say with me. You can say them with me now, or you can come back later when you feel more up to it, okay? I forgive them and I set them free. I am free too. I forgive myself with compassion and love. I release shame and embrace growth. And God loves me unconditionally. God loves you too, baby. Forgiveness isn't about weakness. It's about choosing peace. Let go, not for them, but for you. Move forward lighter and be the light. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know in the comments if this video has been helpful. And if it resonated with you, please like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell notification button after you subscribe so that you can be notified when I upload my next video. Thank you once again. Remember that all is well, sweetie. I love you. Stay enchanted, and I will see you in the next video. Maybe Milo will be there too. Bye.